Hello everybody, how are you? I hope you are all in a good conditions. So today we will have a presentation from the third group of hotel accommodation class, and today's topic is giving hotel information. So without any further ado, let us begin the presentation. Okay, before we jump into the presentation, so in today's presentation, there will be a full presenters. The first speaker is Sinta Leoni. The second speaker is Komang Josu Haryadi. The third speaker is Gede Wedarukmana. And the last speaker is me, Ninyaman Diahwardianti. So, without any further ado, I will give the time to the first speaker, Sinta Leoni. For Sinta, the time is yours.
Thank you, Dia. So, what we will be discuss in these presentations are the first one is introduction, and it will be discussed who plays an important role in giving hotel information. And the next, information that can be found in each department, the example of problems in providing information, the total quality management, and then the last is conclusion. Next. Okay, so the first one is introduction. So the front office has an important role in providing friendly service to the hotel guest. Front office sets the points for a pleasant or an unpleasant visit. It means that in the it means that if the front office services are good, then the guests will be satisfied and feel pleasant for the stay. Hotel guests often ask for information about public transportation, the location of hotel facilities, and more. Usually, the first place they go to ask for information is the front office because the staff there are considered to be the most knowledgeable about matters relating to the hotel services. As such, the response of front office staff to guest requests for information will demonstrate how well the hotel has prepared front office staff for this important role. Of course, in fulfilling hotel guests' requests for information, the front office has to coordinate with other departments because sometimes guest requests are not included in the front office staff's job description. Front office staff interact with all hotel departments, like including marketing and sales department, housekeeping department, food and beverage department, banquet department, controller, maintenance department, security and human resource department. These departments view the front office as a communication hub in providing services to their guests. Each department has unique communication relationship with front office staff. Next, to the next slide. Okay, so now I will explain the communication between front office and marketing and sales department. So the marketing and sales department count on the front office to provide data on guest histories. The information gathered is based on zip code, frequency of visits, corporate affiliation, special needs, and reservation for sleeping rooms. The guest history is valuable resource for marketing and sales department because this department use the guest registration information to target marketing campaigns, develop promotion, prepare mailing labels, and sell appropriate advertising media. Also, the marketing and sales department in charge in completing a special event booking, such as a wedding reception, convention, or seminar. It depends on the availability of bedrooms for guests. Marketing and sales executives may have to check the list of available rooms to make sure the hotel can accommodate the expected number of guests. The database of available rooms is stored in the property management system by the front office. Next. So the first guest contact with the marketing and sales department is usually via hotel switchboard. Competent telephone operator who are friendly and knowledgeable will make a good impression that the hotel is competent. Then the front office staff will show the guests when they come to the hotel that the hotel is dedicated to providing hospitality. The message for marketing and sales departments must be complete, accurate, and prompt. Therefore, telephone operators are an important link in communication between prospective clients and salespersons in the marketing and sales department. The front office manager should instruct all front office personnel about the staff in the sales and marketing departments and what each person's job entails. So the front office employees must know how to pronounce the names of all the marketing and sales staff. Okay, next. Now is the relationship between housekeeping department and the front office. Housekeeping and the front office communicate with each other about housekeeping room status. Housekeeping room status can be described in the following communication term. The first one, available, clean, or ready. It means that the room is ready to be occupied. Second, occupied. It means that guests are already occupying the room. The third, stay over. It means guests will not be checking out of a room on the current day. Next, dirty on or change. It means guest has checked out of the room, but the housekeeping staff has not released the room for occupancy. And then the last, out of order. It means the room is not available for occupancy because of a mechanical malfunction. The housekeeping and front office also communicates details of potential house count. House count is report on the number of guests registered with the hotel. The housekeeping and front office also communicates details of safety issues and amenities requests such as personal toiletries like shampoo, toothpaste, mouthwash, and electrical appliance. The official reporting of room status at the end of the day is accomplished with a housekeeper's room report. Room report is a report prepared by the housekeeper that lists the guest room occupancy status as vacant, occupied, or out of order. Sometimes, even regular reporting of room status is not adequate, as guests may be anxiously waiting the opportunity to occupy the room. Because of that, the front office staffs will have to telephone the floor supervisor or the housekeeping supervisor to determine when the servicing of a room will be completed. Housekeepers, uh, please the next slide. So housekeepers rely on room sales projections, the weekly report prepared and distribute by front office managers that shows the number of departures, arrivals, visits, stays, and absences to schedule employees. Timely distribution of room sales projections help executive housekeeper in planning personal leave or employees' vacations. For example, if uh, sorry, next the front desk also relies on housekeeping staff to report any unusual circumstance that might indicate violation of security for the guest. For example, if a maid or houseman notice obviously non-registered guests on a floor, he or she must report this potential security violation to the front office, and then the front office will report the matter to the appropriate internal or civil authorities. The front office manager may also direct the front office clerk and telephone operator to contact the floor supervisor or housekeeping supervisor to check activities on the guest floor regularly. Also, guest requests for additional or special amenities and room supplies can be initiated at the front desk. So the guest can ask for special treatment by calling the front desk. Immediate delivery of requests for extra blankets, towels, soap, and shampoo to housekeeping is essential because this is the hospitality at its best. Okay, the next slide. So the next slide is food and beverage department in the relationship with front office staff. This slide will be presented by the second speaker, Josu Haryadi.
For the time. Now I will explain about the communication between front office and food and beverage department. So the communication between the front office and food and beverage department is essential. The vital communication between the front office and the food and beverage department is the information about a prediction house count or an estimate number of guests expected. It is important to help food and beverage department meet the demands of the public. And then the front office manager should work with the food and beverage director in developing standard operation procedures and methods to complete the transfers of charge. The food and beverage supervisor also need to schedule employees and predict the sales based on the front office predict house. And food and beverage supervisor or authorized member of food and beverage also ask to the front office about payout of last minute purchases. The next slide. Okay, now is the communication between front office and the banquet department. The banquet department have a communication from front office to relay information to guests about scheduled events and bill payment. The front office staff must know about how to direct guests to particular meeting rooms or reception areas and which functions are being held in which room. Because if there is the banquet guest who is unfamiliar with the hotel property, will ask at the front office for the direction or for any room. The person, the next one is the person responsible for paying bills for a special event also find his or her way to the front office to settle the city ledger account. And if the banking captain is not available to give information to the responsible person, then the front office desk clerk should be informed about the specific food and beverage For the specific of the events like food and beverage charge, rental charge, method of payment, and the others. So next, now the communication between the controller and the front office. The controller relies on the front office staff to provide a daily summary of financial transactions through a well-prepared night audit. This information is also used to measure management ability to meet a budget targets. The information produced by the front office is a necessary first step in the process of factual gas accounting process and the financial assembly of data for the controller. They share a common concern for the guest hospitality, and when finance are concerned, oral discussion is inevitable between the controller and the front office. Now, for the next slide. Okay, now for the next presentation will be continued by Weda Rukmana as the third speaker.
Okay, thank you for the time. So here I would like to explain about the communication between the maintenance or engineering department and also with the uh, FO or front office. So maintenance employees are in charge of things related to room maintenance, such as in a hotel room. Maintenance personnel are usually on duty if there are problems such as air conditioning not functioning properly, broken heating, and solving problem related to the electronic furniture. The things that the maintenance employees must know is that about occupancy status of a room before entering or fixing the broken electronic furniture. Um, so that if the guests have a problem with their room, especially for the electronic furniture in the room, the guest will contact the front office. Then the front office will ask the maintenance department to fix the problem. Okay, the next one is security department. Hotel security officers serve as people who guard the safety of the guests while in the hotel. Communication between hotel security officers and the front office is very important. The two departments must cooperate well in order to maintain the safety and comfort of the guests. Another task of a hotel security guard is to carry out routine checks regarding guest safety issues, uh, also with the front office. Next is Human Resources Management Department. The task of a person who works as human resources management is to distribute application forms and other personnel related information to job applicants. The human resources management may ask the front office staff to screen job candidates. Not only that, human resources management department can also develop guidelines for front desk workers that are used to screen job candidates. So the guidelines may include concern about personal hygiene, completion of an application, education requirements, experience, and citizenship status. This information will help the executives in the human resource management department interview potential job candidates. Okay, next is the problem will present by Dia Verdianti.
Thank you, Weda. So we all already know about the front office, who plays an important role roles in giving information and its relation with other departments. So now let us take a look on a situation where there is a miscommunication between the employees in different departments in a hotel, which causes the information that guests need not being conveyed. So please the next slide, Weda. Okay, now let us watch the video first.
Hello, welcome to Nirwana Hotel. What can I do for you?
Hello. May I meet Mr. Chris?
Mr. Chris is not at the hotel.
Well, I have made a reservation for a party on behalf of Brown with him. Is everything ready for tonight?
Well, Andrew, our banquet manager, knows everything about the party. I'll call him right now. Please wait for a moment. Andrew, this is Mr. and Mrs. Brown. They have made a reservation for a party tonight. Could you please give information of the preparation and services?
I'm sorry, but Mr. Chris instructed nothing about tonight's party.
Really? But we have made it a week ago. Honey, we have to talk to the manager.
Okay, so from the video, there is Mrs. and Mr. Brown who will be throwing a private party at Nirwana Hotel and have made reservation with Mr. Chris. Mr. Chris here is the director of marketing and sales in Nirwana Hotel. But upon the arrival of Mr. Brown and Mrs. Brown at the hotel, of course, their main direction of asking for information is the front office. They asked about the whereabouts Mr. Chris and as well as the hotel arrangement regarding to the reservation they made. But the receptionist said that Mr. Chris is not in the room and Andrew, the banquet captain, knows everything about the party. However, Andrew said that Mr. Chris did not give instruction on who would serve Brown's party. Finally, Mr. and Mrs. Brown complained to the general manager and also the owner of the Nirwana Hotel. The next slide, please, Sweda. So, in this situation, the treatment of any guest in this manner could create a disaster for future conventions and banquet sales. The communication breakdown in this case was the fault of all the employees involved. There should be communication between the front office staff, the banquet manager, and also the marketing and sales directors, so that the information is complete and accurate. Mr. Chris here, as the director of marketing and sales, should have informed the front office manager of Brown's party schedules and also explained who Mr. Brown and Mrs. Brown were and requested that he be called to the arrival event immediately. And also Mr. Chris also should work more closely with Andrew, the banquet manager, in scheduling employees for party services. The next slide, Kada. Okay, now let's move on to the total quality management. So in connection with providing informations, there is a term called TQM or total quality management, which is a management technique that encourages managers to look with a critical eye at processes used to deliver products and services. So managers must ask frontline employees and also the supervisors to question each step in the method they use to provide hospitality for guests. For example, why do guests complain about waiting in line to check out? Why do guests complain about the services? So the managers and he or the employees must then look for the answer to this question. This management technique focuses on ways all employees can work together to discuss issues and also problems to resolve the problem as a team. And the most important aspect of total quality management in the context of the hotel industry is the interaction between the frontline employees and the supervisors. And the interaction of employees in a group setting or in a one-on-one basis to determine the root of the problem and how the desire and result can be achieved trust them into an atmosphere of cooperation that may not have previously existed. And the last is the conclusion. Please move to the next slide. So, it can be concluded that the role of the front office is very important in delivering the information in a hotel. Front office relates to employees in all departments, which are marketing and sales, housekeeping, food and beverage, banquets, controller, maintenance, security, and also human resources. Guest needs are met when employees cooperate and communicate to provide hotel services. However, when these lines of communication break down, so does the quality of services. Total quality management was introduced as a management tool that encourages collaboration and also communication between departments, which will make all the information clearly conveyed both internally and externally to the hotel. This method will produce the best products and services for the guest. So I think that's all about the presentation from the third group. Now let's move on to the discussion and question and answer session on the chat room in our WhatsApp group, and we are ready to take any questions you may have. Thank you and goodbye.